part of eastern Uganda. Now, many people do not know what is transpiring in Teso. Before 1986, Teso used to be the richest sub-region in Uganda and second richest in East Africa. But right now, we are the second poorest sub-regions in Uganda. And of course, if you equate it to East Africa, I think we're the poorest now. What exactly went wrong? Teso used to predominantly survive on cattle keeping and agriculture. That is basically what we used to deal in. But we all know that from the time from 1986 up till now, our cattle were taken. Cattle were taken from Teso, and we don't know whether it was one of the ways of making us poor. We were told that the cattle were taken by the Karamojongs. We had a team of people that moved to Karamoja to ascertain whether our cattle were really taken to Karamoja. To be honest with you, we did not get our cattle in Karamoja. We asked ourselves, and we still ask ourselves this question: where did our cattle go? Government is trying to tell us stories that Karamojong came and took our cattle. But when we did our research, there is no cattle from Teso in Karamoja. So this question still remains in the heads of everybody in Teso. Where did our cattle go? So the second thing that is there right now is the major thing that is affecting us right now is the famine. Teso used to be an agricultural basket, a food basket, whereby you do not actually, you don't expect a home in Teso to lack food. Right now, as we speak, things that used not to go beyond 500 shillings a kilo, like cassava. Cassava right now is at 3,000 shillings a kilo. What really happened? Our land is actually being, it's actually degenerating. And the question is, what went wrong? Right now, the introduction of chemicals in to our soil, you can no longer cultivate crops in Teso without the use of chemicals. So, as we speak right now, you find somebody spending over 800,000 shillings to cultivate an acre of land. But that acre of land will produce about 6 bags of GNATs. Now, what 1 bag of GNATs is about 120,000 shillings. You have spent about 800,000 shillings to cultivate 1 acre of land using chemicals, but you only yield 6 bags, which is less than 800,000. So at the end of the day, we are making losses every season. Right now, there is a lot of famine, whereby our government is not, this government is not actually looking at what is happening. They are waiting for a day when photos will now come out on the internet that Teso is dying, people are dying. Then they will end up having these supplementary budgets and the rest of the things. Of course, we all know how these people operate. They wait for something to happen. Then at the end of the day, they have supplementaries which end up in Kampala. How do you make supplementaries for people who are dying in Teso, and yet they end up in Kampala? So people in Teso right now, there is a lot of famine, there is a lot of drought, and there is nobody talking. A lot of emphasis have been put into Karamoja, but they are neglecting Teso, and yet we are dying of hunger. Right now, there is a lot of hunger, whereby in Katakwi, for example, a kilo of cassava used to be 600 shillings. But right now in Katakwi, a kilo of cassava flour, is 3,000 shillings. Where did we go wrong? So we need the nation to know that Teso is actually dying. When we recount before 1986, we used to have perennial crops that used to survive in Teso even without rain. Like we have the common crop called erudurudu. That's a groundnut. This crop is no longer there. These people came and lied people in Teso that now we want to modernize agriculture. We introduce other crops to the soil. We accepted because we didn't know what was happening. At the end of the day, we neglected our perennial crop that used to survive in Teso for years. Our great-grandfathers used to cultivate it. But right now, as we speak, that crop is not there. And as we speak now, whatever was brought to Teso from whichever region is no longer performing. And that is now what brings the question of famine in Teso. The other thing is the issue of cattle rustling. Karamoja, by the way, for your own information, Karamojong and Iteso are supposed to be one people. We call them the uncles. They are our uncles, actually. Now, these people have created a gap. For us, we feel like they have created a gap between the Iteso and their uncles. Like, for example, I told you that our cattle actually is not in Karamoja. The Karamojong who claim to be rustling our cattle are very poor. Now, if the country is to understand the depth of this, you need to look at why is it that every time Karamojong are dying of hunger, and they are the poorest in the country, and yet they are rustling our cattle. Our cattle have not gone to Karamoja. This, for us, we think, is a way of making us fail to unite with the Karamojong, who are our uncles. Look at, for example, the region. You look at Karamoja as, Karamoja has been put into the north. Teso has been put into the east. Now, when you look at the headquarters of Karamoja, of north, is in Gulu. Gulu is actually, northern Uganda has Lango sub-region and Acholi sub-region. These two communities speak almost the same language. They speak Luo, and they understand one another. Now, the Karamojong, like, for example, look at Nakapiripirit if you have the map of Uganda. Look at Nakapiripirit, where it is. For a person from Nakapiripirit who belongs to the north to go to Acholi, a headquarters of the north, he has to come through Soroti. There's no road that leads him to Acholi. Now, when you look at the language, the food they eat, Acholis and the Langos are eating the same food. Karamojongs and Iteso are supposed to be speaking the same language because we understand one another. Now, when you look at Teso, for example, they've put us in the east with Bagisu and the Basoga. Bagisu and Basoga almost have the same culture. They share the same food. They share the same, the language is almost the same. Now, for us, we feel there is a way they want to keep us not united, to divide us with the Ites, with the Karamojongs, to keep us away from uniting. Because if you look at Teso and Karamoja, if they made them one region, one sub-region, a region of its own, we would have like 9 districts of Karamoja and the 10 districts of Teso. That would have created a region whereby we would understand one another. And this issue of cattle rustling would have ended. But this, to me, to us in Teso, we feel like President Museveni is actually doing it on purpose because he wants to keep us disunited. This is a way of dividing and ruling us forever. Because when you look at the issues of the issues that surround the issues of the cattle rustling, these guys actually use guns from government. When they are arrested, you find that a Karamojong is carrying a gun from government. This is something the nation should know. Who is feeding this Karamojong with what? With these guns? Are they the Karamojongs, or these are soldiers raiding Teso? The other thing is, in Teso, we have so many things that we're supposed to be having. Like, for example, the meat packers. These meat packers, from time of independence up to 1986, the meat packers was actually very active, working, packing meat, and processing meat. Of course, we all know that cattle was in Teso, processing meat and packing it to the outside community. This was an economic activity that would boost was boosting the Teso, and that's why we were the richest. I remember in 1954, we were able to donate some items to Britain. It was only Teso in Uganda that donated to Britain, and up to now we've not been compensated by the British government. We donated because we were actually the richest. Yeah. So, so you realize that the meat packers actually was supposed to help us economically. We would have a lot of jobs. Over 5,000 young people would be having jobs there. But right now, as we speak, this place is defunct. It is not operating. It has been, government has spent a lot of money renovating it, but there is nothing happening there. What exactly happened to our meat packers? Is it that we don't have the animals? No, we have the animals. We can still be able to revive these meat packers if we are given the chance. So government should stop plying us, the ITESO, and actually give us the chance to economically revive our society. When you look at other things like Sorority Flying School, the flying school is actually there, but we are not benefiting anything. Of what use is it there now? We are not able to have our children there. Now, when you look, when you go inside that flying school, this is supposed to be an international airport, a second airport, but it's not actually active. So, for us, we are saying as ITESO, government should actually, this government of President Museveni should actually come out clearly to tell us, is he looking at Teso as part of Uganda, or we are not part of what? This economy. Now, the other thing is they keep telling people that we have the fruit factory. Museveni and his government actually brought for us, they brought a fruit factory. They told ITESO to cultivate oranges. They brought the fruits, the orange trees from Umbarara. We accepted. Now, we all know that once you cultivate oranges, that particular land that you've put an orange tree will no longer cultivate any other food. Now, the oranges have started yielding. To our dismay, our surprise, the fruit factory does not accept our oranges. They are telling us that our oranges that we are cultivating, that we are growing, remember, they brought for us the oranges. They told us these are the oranges that we are supposed to cultivate. They brought for us the oranges. Now, they are the very people, the fruit factory cannot crush the oranges from Teso. Who is lying who here? Because now, you are the ones who brought for us the oranges. From wherever you brought it from, now you are not buying the oranges. Right now, as we speak, in every season, because oranges come whatever in 2 seasons. Every season, we are selling oranges. Our oranges were selling to Kenya at 20,000 a bag. And the bag is taller than me. Now, this was something that was going to be a bullet changer for us to boost up our economy. But right now, we can't sell the oranges to the factory. They are bringing the oranges from Ankole, from Umbarara, to Soroti factory, And they are neglecting the very oranges they told us to what? To cultivate. Who is fooling who? And are we really going to benefit from this fruit factory? Maybe to add on, I would invite my brother Echungu to add on.
When I was young, my mother narrated me a simple story of a young child who was too slow when it comes to eating, but was given to share the same table with the children who had very high speed when they were eating. At last, the child missed the food. Once again, I'm called George William Echungu. Echungu George William is my name. I'm proud to be Annie Tesot, and I am Annie Tesot. I will be Annie Tesot forever and ever. The worst thing a man can do in life is sitting in an idea whose time has perfectly come for fear of its rejection. We, the people of Teso, we have a lot of challenges which the regime has kept on playing around. When you look at the education sector or the education department, the education stand in Teso, it is too alarming. When I speak of education, I feel like crying. In the year 1997, the regime introduced UPE, claiming it to act as a resting point for the poor people. But today, where things have reached, it is full of theory, but not practical. As we speak, the education level in Teso is poor. I have always talked about this in several occasions. Much as those who dance to the tunes of the regime, they keep on praising that things have improved. But things are worsening. From good to worse. I'm worried, where are we heading? We want to have Teso, which is also recognized in this nation. But you will find that even right now, if you go to Teso, you pay a visit to schools, you find that our children, our pupils, including me myself, I studied under a tree, and they are still studying under trees, which is very, very terrible. When you look at the agriculture, as my colleague has earlier on said, we, the upcoming Iteso, the young children, we don't know which one is our cash crop. Do we have a cash crop? Everything has been messed up with. I used to hear cotton and cooperatives, but a great impact was created when the Teso Cooperative Union declined. As we speak, it is a reason as to why with the services of the regime. Soroti University is a university that was given to the people of Teso. But when you go to Soroti University, you will find that the greatest percentage which is there is not Teso. Simply because the level of education in Teso is still low, and it's coming up.